We'll have a good intro really soon, but in the meantime, this is the Pell Bros podcast. Woohoo! Yay!
Woohoo! Hell yeah! Come on, ladies. Come on. Yeah, you at the back too. Come on, everyone. Let's stand up. Let's fucking do a bit of applause. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. All right. Here we are. Episode 3. You know, if you want to be a bit technical, it's technically the 4th episode we're doing, but this is number 3, son. 1, 2, 3. You know, I can count like the ABC. 1, 2, 3. Bang. See? This is episode 3 of the Pell Bros podcast. Unfortunately, it is just me today. So if you guys, I know I already got haters. You know, this is obviously, this is that Ryan DW guy, whatever kind of, you know. But yeah, unfortunately, you're stuck with just me today. Basically, what's happened is that Mr. James, Sir James, is currently under quarantine for, or the thing is, firstly, you should already know about it because we did briefly touch on it at the very end of the last episode. However, if you didn't hear that, then obviously you ain't a true fan, are you? And you know, maybe I shouldn't be telling you the actual news, the updates on my dear friend, my dear Pell Bro, Mr. James. However, I will, because I'm a sellout and because all I care about is money and people to like me, I'm going to tell you guys what's the situation. So basically, yeah. It's a bit unfortunate, but my friend Mr. James is actually down with the coronavirus. He's getting quarantined right now. You know how it's usual, like 2-3 weeks or so. So that's pretty much the situation with him. Next 3 or so episodes, including this one, you guys are actually stuck with me. It's gonna be somewhat solo, but don't worry, I'm gonna make it a bit fun. And if you guys are still listening, you guys haven't fucked off after this 1 minute or so, listen to me, because I'm telling you, there may or may not be. I don't know. There may or may not be a surprise at the end of this episode. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just leave it at that. All right. So okay, and like I said, this is obviously the episode 3 Pell Bros podcast. Usually with your hosts James and Ryan DW, which is me. So unfortunately, right now it's just myself. So yeah, obviously just myself. This will be a bit of a shorter episode. This is a bit of like a therapy episode because I'm just talking to myself, talking about my problems and misfortunes and whatnot. Anyways, before we get into this episode properly, I just want to, obviously I need to be dishing out, if you guys don't already know, to our 3 listeners worldwide, guys, yeah, jump on this shit, hit us up. We got Pell Bros at Pell Bros. That's PELBROS, baby. Pell Bros at Instagram, right? Give us a like, give us a follow, what is it? Send us a DM if you wish. And at the same time, obviously, we can find us on Gmail. So Gmail, we are pellbrospodcast@gmail.com. That is who we are. That is what we do. And that's the game. So obviously, those 2 channels are probably the best ways to contact us because we are, we're starting off here. And yeah, we haven't completely just decided to call it quits yet. We're doing, I don't know, I reckon it's doing quite decent. But each episode, we think we can do a lot better. So we need you guys to holler at us to tell us how to do our job better. So reach out to us, say hi, what's up? If you're, tuning in from Mexico or something, be like, hey, Ryan DW, I love you. Hey, like, Mexico. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, bro. We got love for everyone. We got love for everyone. And I'm just saying, if there is potentially, should I kill my? No, I'm just gonna say, like, if there are potentially some, like honeys out there feeling a bit like, need some attention, need some like validation or whatever bullshit, we just one DM away, girl. I'm just saying. I got a sexy voice. I'm probably more sexy in person. I'm just saying. It's up to you. All right. Anyways, though, let's get stuck into this episode. So basically, I'm sitting my ass down right now just after watching that game. And obviously that game, we didn't have that many games today this week. So obviously it'll be a short episode. But the game obviously in question is when we just rocked up to Portland. Obviously, it was a away game for us. Portland, Dame's sitting out, so he's quote unquote injured from a groin injury or whatever for 6 games or so like that. And yeah, but we got BI, we got Zion, we got everyone back on the team, apart from obviously like Kenrich Williams. But we got our main starting lineup back healthy, so that's good. So I put on a bet for us to beat Portland, obviously, but I had a few other legs which didn't hit, unfortunately, because. Yeah, so, this is bad because ever since I've started this podcast, now I'm losing my bet. So I might just like keep that to myself from now on. But Yeah, it happened because it's the same thing that happened the last game with versus Portland. Honestly, like we just gave these guys too much of a freaking ass whooping, really. And I wasn't predicting that it's going to be such an ass whooping. And with that, people like JJ going to sit a bit longer, Zion going to sit a bit longer, etc., etc. Anyways, that game ended up being 128-115. Very brief takeaway on those notes. Obviously, that was for us, and with that win, with that dub, that's obviously a season series sweep versus us versus what's it called, Portland. So that's always good news. Portland sweep, and New Orleans sweeping Portland. I think that is just like common knowledge now within the league, and that's always something like that I'm delighted to hear. Okay, so 128-115. What can I say about this? So Bi got in a bit of foul trouble, so that's what I'm trying to say in terms of like he had to sit out a bit. He got like four fouls quite early, and so he sit out. So he only ended up getting 16 points. However, he was playing a different kind of game. He's got 6 assists, so he was dishing out some really decent assists today. Obviously, we got Zion dominating as usual, 25 points. However, he was a bit lacking on the boards today. That's kind of actually how I lost my bet. He only got 4 rebounds today, which is unusual because he's usually grabbing his own missed shots. However, today he wasn't fucking missing. He was only missing his free throws. So that's kind of what happened with Zion. But that's the thing. Like overall, everyone did freaking good. D-Faves with 12 boards. That's always freaking good news. Lonzo 7 assists and 15 points, which is solid, obviously. And Jrue Holiday 9 assists. See, that's the thing. Jrue Holiday has been playing a really assist-heavy role nowadays, and it's been working for our team, to be honest. So yeah, Jrue Holiday 9 assists and 20 points. Finally, quick shout-outs to Nicole Lomel. Yeah, made 3. It's not the greatest, but he did make 3 3-pointers, but it was 3 for 8. However, he ended up with 13 points. And big shout-out to Josh Hart, who was just killing it. He ended up with a double-double, 13 points and 13 rebounds, 13 boards, so that's a big emphasis on the board. It's quite freaking good. Unfortunately, today was an ESPN broadcast, so obviously the commentators sucked ass, right? However, that didn't stop me from, enjoying the match that I was watching. And obviously I did lose my bet, like I said, but I am always a very, very happy man to see our Pelicans win, especially because we do need this win, especially because this is maybe our main competitor, one of our main competitors, the Portland Trailblazers in the run for the 8th seed, right? And this is actually something I do want to touch on quickly. So, yeah, because obviously we had the All-Star break and whatnot, and we've had so many people, like I've been seeing a lot of people like around social media, NBA, even with Pelicans, etc., etc. Everyone's like, oh, can the Pelicans make the 8th seed? Like, guys, I don't know. If this happens and that, like, dude, shut up. Like, just shut up. All right. Like, we're going to win. We're going to win enough games and the right kind of games to secure the 8th spot. Like, it is like not going to not happen. Like, it is happening. Right. So if you're a Pelicans fan and you're like thinking, oh, like, will we make it? And like, dude, you yourself, by thinking that, you're doing a disservice to the name, the Pelicans franchise. You know what I mean? Like, dude, get some freaking balls, right? And just like, yeah, and just like, say like, yeah, we're gonna make it because we're gonna freaking make it, right? Like, okay, because it's us. Like, and not, it's easier just to say it, right? But you'd be like, oh, Ryan, where's a bit of the backup, etc., etc. Well, hey, listen up. I've got a bit of a backup. And I have actually posted this kind of content on the Instagram at Pelbros, right? In case you guys were wondering. And yeah, so our the main competitors for the 8th seed, obviously it's a race between 6 teams in the Western Conference. First off, we got Memphis, who are currently in the 8th seed as of right now. And then we got Portland, San Antonio, Sacramento, Phoenix, and ourselves. So out of everyone that we're competing against, we have the easiest schedule. I think not even out of the people that we're competing against. I think we have the easiest schedule in the whole entire league, for fuck's sake, right? When it comes to the rest of the season. So that's like pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good like that's looking pretty good in terms of if we actually want to make the 8th seed, right? We just need that big momentum push. And today's W versus Portland is a good way to start it. Next we've got Golden State. That's probably an easy dub too. And then we're gonna meet Lakers and then Cavs and then Lakers again. So if we can win at least one of those Lakers games, that would be ideal. However, if we can't, that's life, baby. That's the game. We still got plenty of more games to win, right? Like these are like the Laker games are losable games. However, obviously you don't want to lose them. However, if worst case scenario happens, it's like we're still in the running for the 8th seed. If anything, I think 100% we're going to make the 8th seed. So I just wanted to quickly mention that because I've just been seeing that all over my freaking social media and everything like that. And yeah, like how I see it, Memphis and Phoenix actually have probably the hardest schedules apart, like versus everyone in our direct competition for the 8th seed. And so with that, obviously Memphis is sitting on the 8th seed right now. That means they're just going to like slowly slide out, which is good news for us. Portland, Dame is injured for, he was injured today's game and, for another 5 or so games. Let's say 3 to 5 games. However, those games are going to cost them. And their schedule is nowhere near as easy as ours too. So that these crucial games that Dame is sitting out on right now, I think that is going to cost them at the end. San Antonio, though, they had an upset win versus Utah today. I'm not too sure. I mean, like, they usually do quite well with Utah for some reason. But, yeah, they beat, what do you call it? Like San Antonio did beat Utah today, so that is obviously helping their case. They're still in the lead against us for the 8th seed. However, their schedule for the rest of the season is still not as, easy as ours. So they got a tougher time to actually get there. However, we can't count them out. I think they've been in the playoffs for 22 years in a row, 22 seasons in a row, whatnot. So, if they make it, I'm not gonna hate. However, at the same time, I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen because we got the Pelicans, baby. And then Sacramento, Phoenix, I don't really want to mention them. Phoenix has got quite a hard schedule, similar to Memphis, if not harder. And Sacramento has like a downsloping schedule in terms of it's quite easy, but nowhere near as easy as ours. If anything, Sacramento is similar to Portland in terms of strength of schedule for the rest of the season. So yeah, it's just like the stars are aligning perfectly for us. Just in terms of the season, rest of the season, right? The schedule strength, just for that factor alone, the stars are aligned for us to actually make a really, really strong, what's called playoff push, really. And so with that, though, like you could be like, okay, Ryan, that's cool, but you're so biased, man. Like Even though like this strength of schedule thing is maybe the most unbiased, impartial piece of information I could provide you. But you could be like, oh, but that's like that doesn't mean anything. But okay, that's cool, right? Because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to educate everyone here, right? I understand there's a lot of low IQ individuals listening in, and that's perfectly fine. I'm here to help you guys out too. So let me get into this a bit, right? So obviously, I've hinted this before. I don't want to go too in depth here because I'll leave that for a later episode in which I've actually got James back. Have a proper discussion. However, I do just want to quickly hint on a few things here, right? Like, so not only do we have this easy strength of schedule for the rest of the season, right? But everything is working out perfectly in terms of because we're already in the playoff question. Despite our, franchise high 13 loss streak, right, earlier on the season. And thanks to people like BI, obviously, but, huge shout out to even someone like Kenrich Williams making hustle play, bringing energy onto the court during the earlier part of the season. Finally, we kind of started to work things out. We were able to close games. And I think the height of everything was obviously that game in which BI scored that quote-unquote game winner versus Utah. However, sent it overtime, but we still won it, so that's cool. I think that was the peak of our team chemistry, but everyone was meshing well. So we had like BI, and then we had like Drew. Everyone everyone's making their shots, everyone's making the right plays. So finally, we bring on Zion on board. First couple of games wasn't too great. However, that's the first. What's it called? It's just today was his 11th game. I think this guy's scoring like what 20 plus. I think it's like 20 plus per game, and maybe around 10 boards. So and I think he scored a couple of 30 games too, and just today it was like 25 points too. So dude, Zion is not an issue. If anything, Zion is doing much better now, because at first when he started, right, like at first when he started with us, it was a bit of like okay, it's not necessarily a good fit, but he was putting up the numbers for us. Now it's like a perfect fit. Like we have that already good chemistry, you know, like the team that like we have a like a team that's meshing well together, right? And now we've got Zion in the mix too, a once in a generation like talent, right? And so yeah, dude, like we're all hungry to actually get that AFC seed. So I'm just gonna leave it at that in terms of like why I believe we have such a huge case to actually make the AFC seed, especially compared to like all our other competitors right now. However, that's just something I briefly wanted to touch on. And like I said, today is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. So there's just a few other couple of topics I do actually want to run by you guys, you know. But I'm going to have a quick sip of the beer. Okay, so yeah, obviously this week we didn't have that many games. We had us versus Portland just today, and we had the whole entire All-Star break. However, the last time you guys were with us, there was a Rising Stars game that was going to go on. So I'm not really going to touch onto the Rising Stars. Obviously, shout out again to the rookies, Nicolo Melle from Italia, and then we got what's it called, Jackson Hayes, who didn't make it to the Rising Stars, but he's a G, and then Zion obviously representing USA. And then we had Nickeil Alexander-Walker hitting it up for Canada in Team World in the Rising Stars. That's good for those guys, right? However, the main big shout out, obviously I shouted it out before, but I'm going to shout out again, is BI, Brandon fucking Ingram, right? So BI has just been a killer all freaking season for us, right? Like we would not even be considering what's it called? Like anywhere near the playoffs right now if it wasn't for BI. I think we would be maybe as bad as like the Cavs and the Knicks right now if it wasn't for someone like BI who stepped up and, you know, closed some games for us, really. And yeah, so BI obviously had his first All-Star performance, or sorry, appearance. So technically his All-Star debut just over the weekend. And yeah, I think he was on a minutes restriction, and he only ended up scoring like 2 points, which is cool because, you know, a lot of people want to be like, oh, you know, because okay, honestly speaking, like between me and you guys, right? So, you know, because, you know, we're blowing up on the social media side of things, right? We're blowing up on Instagram and whatnot. We were like, okay, yeah, sweet. I put up this like mad Brandon Ingram video. It got like a shitload of traction. Like, oh shit. So we're like, okay, let's jump on that same kind of like wave of like traffic coming in for BI. And when it's Brandon Ingram's actual, like when he has his debut at the All-Star game, right? He's going to have some crazy highlights. We're going to make some mad, like, you know, content out of that. And yeah, he ended up only having 2 points. So for us, we're a bit like, oh shit. So we didn't end up posting anything about that. However, it's not a bad thing, right? Like, what? I'm pretty sure BI himself doesn't see it as a bad thing also, but obviously there are going to be haters out there being like, even within the Pelicans, like people that go for Pelicans too, that are going to be hating about that, but fuck them, you know? Because BI, listen, man, if you listen to this, which I know you probably will be, man, all I want to say is like, although, you know, you've had, like, you know, first off, you've made your fucking debut, right? But not only that, sure, it was like, it's not, you know, as great as you would have hoped, right? In terms of you only scored 2 points the entire All-Star game or whatever. But obviously you're in minutes restriction, etc. That's not the point. The point is obviously, you could like you could say that it was a bit of like lackluster, I guess is the right word. Like, you know, not what you were kind of expecting. However, it's cool, babe, because it still counts. It still counts, you know. And like I said, I have been there. A lot of people around you have probably been there. A lot of people in the world have probably been there. You just got to look at it like this, right? How I see it is that, you know, I've had throughout my course of living, you know, I've had some encounters with, you know, the female sex, I guess, in which I've had to, you know, provide pleasure for the both of us, right? Anyways, during my endeavors, right, there's one specific time in which I recall comes back to me. Finally, after ages, finally getting it in, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's done, you know? However, my friend BI, that still counts, my G. That still counts, right? So just like your ass I'm the same kind of I'm the same kind of thing. Although it was just like a 1-2 like points for your ass, 5 pumps for my ass. That still counts, my G. That still counts. So don't let the haters hold you down, player. And yeah, and probably I think how Bi said it himself was that this is going to be the first of many. So it's whatever. It's whatever. All I can say though with that is obviously congratulations again on the making the All-Star and shit, especially because this is a very political league in which small market teams like ours get freaking shat on. Obviously we got Zion though, so it kind of is helping us a bit nowadays. But if anything, if anything, that's like against what I want because we have these shitty ESPN broadcasts now. But that's not the point. There is still a small market conspiracy in the works within this political league. Regardless of all that shit, BI is a fucking achievement, mate. It's a fucking achievement and first of many to come. So again, congratulations on that, BI. You a G. And I'm just gonna repeat this and then I'm gonna change segment. Last thing I want to say to BI. BI, you a G. BI, you a G. BI, you a G. That's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. All right. So this is the one kind of thing I want to talk on. Just we've done a bit of a review, and now just wanted to, talk a bit about BI's kind of quote unquote performance in the All-Star game and whatnot, which I'm still cool with, to be honest. And finally, the last topic, since like I said, it's going to be a much more shorter episode. Last topic I actually want to talk about was about Zion, right? I'll go more into detail about this on later episodes, obviously. However, today I just want to briefly touch on this, right? Because Zion, more and more, each fucking game, each fucking day, whatever, each even little training video, etc., even post-game interview, dude, like, I'm fully in love with this guy, and I'm not saying that I was on the Zion bandwagon from day one, because obviously he's been having a lot of hype since high school, since college, etc., etc. Let's say maybe like a couple of years ago, I'm hearing about Zion Williamson and college highlights and whatever bullshit. And I'm like, all right, cool. So my own personal, because how I saw it, I was just like, okay, this guy's just like another LeBron or something like that, and I really don't give a shit about LeBron. Like LeBron, I don't know. Like obviously, I wouldn't deny he's a good player and whatnot, especially for the age he's at right now. He's killing it, right? However, LeBron, like the kind of not ego, but the kind of character he is, I don't really fuck with that. It's like a very, I don't know if you guys would get it, but it's like a very like fake kind of China sellout shit, and that's not how I do it, right? So obviously that's LeBron, right? So I was thinking, oh, this Zion kid, this is just another one of that, right? Being as hyped up as LeBron and whatnot, I'm thinking, oh, he's just gonna be the same kind of character. And then only thing I heard about him was maybe that like Snapchat he was trying to send to some bird, being like, hey, you want to come over to my bed and all that shit. So I was like, I'm thinking, obviously I don't have a great impression of this guy. Anyways, so last year, right, I was actually in the UK for half a year, and I was in a house with a few roommates, a bunch of lads from around the UK and whatnot. And so I was just chilling one night, had my dinner, etc., kicking back, watching the TV and shit. I think at that time, at that time, there was still, it wasn't playoffs yet, but there was still some games going on for NBA. So I was like, it's no Pelicans game, so I don't really want to watch anything. But I was like, yeah, I might just put on a basketball game. And then as I was gonna put something on, my mate, my housemate, my roommate, he was actually telling me like, dude, it's March Madness right now. Why don't you put something some college ball on? And I was like, I don't really like watch it and stuff, like college ball or March Madness and all that. But I was like, you know what? Like I'll suss that, because my man is, giving me a recommendation, and that's what I do. I'm an open-minded individual, and my boy telling me what's up, I'm gonna at least try it. So yeah, I put it on a game, and the game on was actually UCF Knights versus, what do you call it? Obviously Duke, right? So the matchup was pretty much I was seeing Zion versus Taco Fall. And that's like, obviously, like I said, my bias before with Zion, I'm watching that game, having a bit of a smoke, beers, etc., etc. I'm just like, oh, screw this Zion kid. I want to see this guy get shat on, I was a hater. I'll admit, I was a hater, right? I was just like, so with that, though, I was rooting for Taco Fall. I was like, come on, Taco, put this guy in the bitch. You're the man. And yeah, it was a close game. It was a really really good game. I'm not gonna lie. Like I watched that game. It was like from start to finish. It was a really really freaking good game. And Duke ended up taking the W with that. However, what's it called? Tigerfall did a decent matchup against Zion in that game. Yeah, and I actually became a fan of Tigerfall after that game. But if anything, I was more of a fan of Tigerfall that game rather than Zion. But you know, they won. Like Duke won and shit like that, right? And it was like a good game, and I was saying like, okay, I can kind of see why people got hyped for Zion, etc., etc. But I was just like being very anti. You know, that's just what I do. I'm just a very like contrarian kind of person, right? When in all kind of walks of life. So with that though, yes. So with that though, that's like you know, act one, right, of my Zion kind of experience. Act two, I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm like chilling, and I'm still chilling in the UK, right? Probably smoking as per usual, having a beer as per usual, and yeah, and then I see the NBA draft lottery, and guess what? Guess what fucking happens? You know, because everyone's geeing up, like, oh, you know, Zion with the Knicks. Was that Knicks? There's like all those like pictures, Knicks with Zion, KD, and Kyrie. Okay, like, all right. Sorry, that's okay. I just had to laugh about that. That's just cute. Anyways, Zion though, Zion, yeah. So that's not even the point. So sorry. Obviously, Knicks did not get the draft pick number one in the lottery. It was the New Orleans Pelicans, and I was like, holy shit when I heard that news. I remember, pretty sure I hit up my boy Mr. James, the other Pel Bros. Although he wasn't in the UK, I still, you know, there is technology available nowadays you guys didn't know in which you can communicate with people across the world. That's what I fucking did. So yeah, I hit him. I was like, dude, holy shit, like what's going on? You know, this is some real fucking shit. And then, you know, I started doing a bit of research on Zion, and then after, it was more so when, you know, the actual the actual draft night came on, right? Where, you know, we're actually picking up the people. So that was the lottery. Now it's the actual draft night. And yeah, and then obviously Zion with the first pick by the New Orleans Pelicans, and then this guy, you know, because you know he had like a speech after. Sorry, that's actually something I'm trying to limit on saying. You know, I'm trying to limit on that. Just so, I was gonna say just so you know, but okay, I'm gonna try to limit that. Anyway, so with Zion though, he getting picked by New Orleans Pelicans on draft night, and then the speech he had after, in which he's, you know, I'm just like, how can anyone hate this guy? Like, because what he said, like he's, you know, his famous line was, you know, let's dance. And I was like, dude, this guy's a G. Like, he's such a, like, he was like, you know, having tears, he was crying. And, you know, it was a very emotional experience because even I myself, watching it in the UK, sitting on my bed, you know, scratching my ass, I was like, dude, this guy's a G. Like, I'm like getting tears myself. And I'm a grown ass man. Like, I don't cry about nothing, man. Like, you know, like, girlfriend left me before, but I didn't cry about that, man. Like, no, I'm cool. But that shit, I was like, damn, son, like, this guy, you know, like, this guy's got something, you know what I mean? He's a contagious kind of figure, and that's the thing. Like, more and more you realize Zion is a very, very lovable character because he's so humble, right? He's so humble. He's, you know, he's obviously raised up well by his parents and whatnot. So he's a humble guy. Some guy and like lovable, I guess, and because it's all because of he's not about himself, right? He's about the team, and you know how LeBron says he's about the team, quote unquote, but that's bullshit. You know, LeBron trying to be like, oh, I'm the greatest, kind of bullshit like that. Shut up, you know. Versus Zion generally is for the team, and so you know that's that beginning part after the draft night that kind of sold it to me even further about Zion. But then, obviously, then I'm watching him play in the what's it called, preseason and whatnot, summer league, preseason, and this guy is dominating, right? We were undefeated in the preseason. Let's not forget that, ladies and gentlemen. We're 5-0, right? Yeah, 5-0 police, but yeah, we killed it in the preseason. I was like, dude, like the league is shook. The league is shook. However, I think in one of the preseason games, he got injured in a San Antonio game, so they actually had to sit him out, obviously, for the extended amount of time he was out for. And yeah, he only just came back, like, so fittingly, like 11 games ago against San Antonio. So yeah, so that's been the kind of the journey with Zion. And since he's been back, this is even the main thing, because I've already had a decent impression of this guy. Since he's been back though, he has like earned my respect. You know, like this guy's like 10, 11 games in, and he's tearing up the freaking league. People were still doubting him beforehand, right? Like being like, oh, there's no way he's going to be able to, like, college basketball is not going to be applicable to NBA with some grown-ass men and everything. Dude, this guy's pushing around Steven Adams, for fuck's sake, man. Like, this guy is a beast. Like, Zion is like, lives up to the hype plus more, like, because Zion, the same as, I guess, kind of like Zion, the same as Bi, and less of an extent of like Lonzo and stuff. But Zion and Bi, they have both earned my respect. Bi was never really a hater; I was just indifferent. But he earned my respect, right? But Zion, I will admit, I was somewhat of a hater back in the day. However, over the course of the year, I'd say, right, I'm like in love with this motherfucker. Like, what can I say? Like, how can you hate this guy's smile? He's like, oh, like, I'm only 19. I just want to learn. I just want to do good for the team. Dude, this guy is a cute little baby. Like, I want to like pinch his cheeks. But that's the thing. At the same time, he's a beast, which is crazy. It really just fucks with your head a bit if you think about it, right? Like this, yeah. And that's the thing. We have to realize that this guy is a once in a generation talent, right? If not like once in a few generations. And there was only going to be one Zion. And let's just even talk about his debut match. Like his debut match coming, versus San Antonio Spurs, right? So obviously the first 3 quarters, it's like not that great. And then on the 4th quarter, out of fucking nowhere. That's what I'm trying to say. Some of these things is just like some like God gifted or like some universe shit, like things that are like beyond explaining. Out of nowhere, this guy's just making it rain from 3, right? I think it was like 4 threes in a row in the 4th quarter. I think all up maybe, don't quote me, it was maybe like 17 points in like 3 minutes or something like that in the 3rd quarter. Basically, something not unnatural, but something like beyond us happened that night. On his debut night, of all nights, he was blessed. The New Orleans Pelicans were blessed. Although we didn't get the dub, that's cool. Who has that kind of a debut? You know what I mean? Right? As a rookie too, and this guy is also, been hyped up the entire time. Everyone is hating him for those 3 quarters. Like, oh, I knew his shit. Oh, I knew he's fucking nothing, blah, blah, blah. And then he comes here on the 4th quarter, bang, just shits on the whole entire system. That's why I got so much, that's why I got so much freaking, like, love for this young man, for this one individual, Mr. Zion Williamson. So, yeah, man, like, that debut, now I know the word. It's not necessarily beyond whatever, the universe or whatever, or understanding. It's just, that was a magical debut. That was a magical night in like basketball history, I guess. And I'd like to assume that he's going to have a very, very amazing career. Hopefully majority of it, if not all of it, being with the New Orleans Pelicans, because I know he has actually expressed a desire to actually wanting to be in the New Orleans Pelicans, maybe someone like Kobe, like his entire career, right? And yeah, and because he got picked for the New Orleans Pelicans versus versus the Knicks and stuff, because I remember when we won the lottery pick, people were like, oh, Zion's thinking about, doing another year now because of that. Like, he's really, he's a very superficial character. He full cares about the Hollywood, like the big market. Obviously, New York Knicks is the number one, is the biggest team in the league in terms of like revenue and whatnot. And so, people were thinking, oh, no, New Orleans, like, it's not going to be a good fit for him. But dude, from day one, he has been nothing but accepting of it. He has been nothing but grateful for the opportunity. And it's just kind of what he says, it's a bit of a cliche and whatnot, but he's a bit like, if you love the city, the city's going to love you as much. And yeah, because even after he got picked, Drew Brees, obviously the QB for the New Orleans Saints, sending him over, like, hey, passing him the torch pretty much. Like, he is a G, right? And so with that, that's just me. Obviously, I just wanted to kind of like be like, oh yeah, Zion's a G and all that. But it's a big deal because this Zion character is also going to be a big, big piece, a wild card piece for us for this upcoming playoff push, right? And not only this upcoming playoff push, but then for the rest of like our franchise, like we created a dynasty here. That's why when people want to beef about AD, Boogie, Rondo, all that kind of stuff, like our last generation of Pelicans players, like, listen, like, let me tell you this thing, right? I'll leave you guys on this note. So if AD didn't make like a scene about his trades, if he didn't sit out the remaining of the, last year's season or whatnot, if the Pelicans won a couple more games here and there, right? We wouldn't have got, like you got to think of it like this. And at the same time, if like Dell Demps, if Dell Demps didn't like tell the Lakers to go fuck themselves when they gave a deal which also included Kuzma, right? Everything happened perfectly for a reason. If Boogie didn't even get injured, and I love Boogie, and he was my favorite character. No, not my favorite character. He was my favorite player, for the New Orleans Pelicans at one point. However, I just actually heard he just got waived by the Lakers, so he won't be making a return this season, which is unfortunate. Shout out to your ass. Please get healthy. Please, for all the fans out there. That's not the point. Point is that every single kind of thing happened for a reason. You know what I mean? Everything happened perfectly for the stars to align perfectly. That not only do we get the first draft pick, right, which is Zion, but we have a freaking young core, a hungry young core with something to prove, right? That we can build around Zion too. And then we got like veterans like Drew. And then we got someone who's like a sound lad like JJ Redick coming, because just that's a very, very respectful move for him to come to the New Orleans Pelicans. I think this was even before, the draft pick and whatnot. So he was just like, he took a chance on us. He took a chance on Drew and everything because he was with Philly. And then he came over to us. So you got to respect these kind of moves. Like everything happened perfectly. And we have a very, very good system, a very, very good team now. Obviously, we changed the front offices. We got David Griffin and all this other good stuff. People want to say, oh, fire Alvin, fire Gentry, especially during the 13 loss streak. That's cool, whatever. I understand that. I'm like every single fucking Pels fan out there has said fire Alvin, fire Gentry. So don't get me wrong, but at the same time, things are working now, right? Things are working now. So that's just all I wanted to kind of say. Like, we're definitely going to make the AFC the playoffs this season. There's nothing that can prove that. You can't use any kind of logic to prove. You can't make a case against that. That's just like the Lord's will. Like, I had a vision, and then he said, "Hey, dude, write this on some like blocks of rock and stuff." I was like, "All right, cool." And that's what it said. It said Zion Williamson. No, not that. It didn't say anything about Zion. It said the New Orleans Pelicans franchise is going to make a crazy playoff push. They're going to secure the 8th seed. They're going to get plus 500 overall in the season. And, which is quite exciting, but we are going to probably verse the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. That's going to be a crazy matchup, Lakers versus us, because obviously there's some kind of beef there, but hey, we'll see what happens. So, obviously, you can see that the next two upcoming Lakers games. So obviously the next game from this podcast, we have Golden State Warriors, and then we have Lakers, and then the Cavs, and then Lakers again. So those two Lakers game though, how we should see it, that's going to be a bit of a sneak preview for the upcoming first round of the playoffs. So let's just I'll leave you guys at that. I try to do it a bit shorter, but holy shit. What can I say? I'm a one-man show. I'm a G. So, yeah, like I said, those are the final points. We're going to make the AFC seed, guys. Zion is a G. BI is a G. And don't be talking shit about, AD and all this other kind of stuff, guys, because everything happened perfectly. Like, if these little things didn't happen, we wouldn't be in the perfect situation we are in right now. Because not only are we going to... Because we're probably not going to get something right now in terms of a championship, right? However, we're creating a dynasty, like the next fucking dynasty here. So you guys got to be keeping your eyes on the long run here. Like, we got a good fucking team. Let's just say that. I'm not even getting to the bench or anything like that yet. I'm going to leave that for a conversation when we got James back. Anyways, guys, I know James is listening. Bro, please get well with the coronavirus and all that bullshit. Yeah, dude, because I really don't want to be affected by that. And yeah, I think I'm just going to sign out with that, guys. Yeah, so peace. Obviously, like I said, Pel Bros on Instagram, DM, ladies, ladies. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but I'm giving you a head nod. Come on, shorty. There's that. And then we got Pel Bros podcast at gmail.com for all business inquiries. All right, players. So yeah, it's Saturday night right now. this was supposed to be like a test take, but I just went like, fuck it, let's wing it. So here I am, just sat down, talk shit for 40 minutes. I'm fucking out. So peace, baby. I'll see you guys next week. Later. Oh, what's that? What's going on? Oh, you thought this episode was over? Oh, you thought this podcast episode was over, son? Pale Bros ain't over, son. Nah. You thought I was gonna leave you at that, homie? Hell no. You got a twisted, player. Alright, let me get in this, baby. Yo, it's Pale Bros. Ryan D Dub, baby. You know how it goes. Hey. Yeah, it's me, Ryan D Dub, coming at ya with love. Ain't met ya yet, but you betcha I get ya to follow my Insta. Pale Bros DMs, pics of your rear end. Viet, yes you be it. The one I'm looking for in Nola, or sipping Coca-Cola. We about to make this Polar Express into a mess, I must confess. Vietnamese, New Orleans, on your knees. Sit back and tease. Add a little cheese and chilies to my banh mi. Now we getting funny. Bit of Henny and now you all on top of me. Said you like my podcast. I said slow down girl, not too fast. She looked back at me aghast, but I told her sex come last. First I gotta put on the game. Joe Myers AD educating your brain. So please refrain from changing the channel or I'll have to bring the pain. My boy Drew shitting on Dame. It's all the same, and fuck the fame. Pale Bros up in your hoes, you already know. Pale Bros up in your hoes, you already know. Pale Bros up in your hoes. Pale Bros up in your hoes, and I'm out. See you later. Pale Bros signing out this episode, baby. Keep it going. We got, we still got a couple more solo ones. Maybe I'll get a guest or whatever, but until then, just so you know, this is a copyright-free beat, so don't sue me. Peace, baby. Peace, baby. Peace, baby.